Colorado High School Activities Association football is on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network tonight from Larry Mills Field at Beet Digger Stadium. It's game number 2 for the Mustangs as they take on the Brush Beet Diggers along with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. I'm John Beltran as the Beet Diggers will kick it off. Frank Urias had a very nice game last week in the return game for Fort Morgan as they dropped a 35-0 decision to Pueblo East. Kickoff is brought to you by Bailey Mechanical. When your temperature is not quite right, call your local Lennox dealer, Bailey Mechanical, 970-522-0471. Eric Rico to kick it off. The Beet Diggers in their maroon jerseys and the white pants. Mustangs in all white. High, deep, end over end. Urias backs up at the 1. Straight ahead to the 5, running to his left to the 10, across the field to the 20, back to the middle to the 27-yard line. Nice return of 26 yards for Frank Urias before he was stacked up there by a couple of members of the Beet Diggers, including River Hodgson, who is a sophomore. And the Mustangs will have it 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. And, Brian, they've got to get the ground game going.
Yeah, you got to get your offensive line going. It all starts up front with your offensive line, and they've got to do that to be able to do either run or pass the ball. So we'll see if they got an improvement on that offensive line from last week.
Out of the pistol formation, Samson Ortega in the backfield. The quarterback is J.J. Marquez. Handoff, Ortega left side, breaks a tackle across the 30, dive to the 32 for a gain of 4. Initial penetration was from Austin Lay, the junior at 6 foot, 180 pounds. Cassius Middlemist also in on the tackle. But again, 4 yards, you'll take that if you're the Mustangs, Kevin. They need to be consistent on the ground.
They do, and I like the fact that they got a good push on that offensive first play. But Brush is going to be stunting and trying to stop that.
2nd down and 6 from their own 32, middle of the field. Quick throw to the left. It's tipped incomplete, intended for Lopez. Marquez looking left, but again, the one thing I did not like about that, he immediately looked left. You got to look off the receiver. It's so much easier to read.
Yeah, he was doing that last week, doing the same thing, and you got to look either down the middle or off to the right or someplace, not where you're going immediately.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do that, you have to get rid of it quickly, and I mean quickly. That took too long. 3rd down and 6 to go for the Mustangs at their own 32 pistol formation. One receiver to the left. There's a double handoff. Angel Lopez, all types of running room. 1st down along the left sideline to the 50. Now to the 40-yard line, cutting it back, and he's down. A big play off the 2nd handoff to Angel Lopez from the 32 of Fort Morgan to the 36 of Brush. A gain of 32 yards and a 1st down right up to the line of scrimmage. They're not wasting any time after the gain of 32. There's the handoff right up the middle, and Ortega's down after a short gain of about a yard. Tripped up there. 2nd down and 9 to go. Kevin?
That last play, they kind of took a page out of Pueblo East book with the reverses and the taking it outside. I like to see him opening that up a little bit.
Oh, God, that was beautiful. That might have been Frank Urias who got the initial handoff. Not sure because they ran it or Ben Fritzler, I believe, got the handoff so quickly. Looked like the hit was made by Eli Klein, a junior. 2nd down and 9 for the Mustangs at the 35. We played well over 2.5 minutes in Brush territory. There's the snap and the give, and that's going to be a loss on that end around. Breaking a tackle, maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. What a play by Ben Fritzler. That should have been a loss of 4. Instead, it's no gain. A penetration by Conrad Castro, but did not do a good job of wrapping up. If not, would be in a 3rd and 13 instead of a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Fritzler's a tough runner. He ran hard last year. I'd like to see him get more opportunities.
I think they're going to rule his knee down back at the 40. Yeah, his knee's down at the 40, so it is a loss of 4 for Ben Fritzler. So check that. They do make it a 3rd and long. And now we had movement, and a Beet Digger came across the line of scrimmage. Was he prompted?
Yep.
Yep, he was. That'll be a false start against Fort Morgan. And, it's similar to last week where they gained 2 first downs on their first drive of the game. And then the remainder of the game, they had, I think, 2 or 3 first downs combined. And then they stumbled all over the place here on a beautiful trick play. They go 32 yards. But now find themselves in a 3rd down and 19 to go from the 45-yard line of Brush. The lone setback is Ortega. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. To the right of the quarterback is Ortega. 3-step drop. Marquez looking, throws to his right. It's caught underneath, but very short gain of about 6 yards to the 39. Percy Odell made the tackle. Angel Lopez Sarinana with his first catch of the game. The Mustangs will punt, so they're going to win the battle of field position, at least for now, especially with the way Frank punted last week.
Yeah, and he's going to have to punt, feels like right into the wind to me, coming out of the southeast. So we'll see if he can get more of a line drive than that high punt.
Let me see. Let me look at Kevin's hair. I can't tell which way the wind's blowing. He's the only one of us that has a decent head. Low snap. Frank, the left-footed kicker, end over end, gets it off. It's going to bounce at the 17. It hits a Mustang first at the 17-yard line. It bounced off of Aiden Brown, a sophomore, and it's dead right there. So the kick only goes for about 21 yards. However, it's inside the 20, so they get the job done now. Is it going to be Jelani Thomas or Dylan Krob or Cassius Middlemiss? Those are the Bead Diggers that head coach Joe Rosenbrock mentioned during Eastern Colorado Insider that are going to get the carries with Richie Bruno out for the year. And Richie Bruno, a huge loss, as has been documented, but they certainly have enough talent and a very strong offensive line. The center is Edgar Ortiz at 6 foot 240. 1st and 10 at the 18. Backs are split. The quarterback under center is Eric Rico. Man in motion to the right. Rico awaits the snap, has the football, turns, hands it up right up the middle. He runs into Mustangs and virtually nothing. That might be Jelani Thomas. First varsity carry, a sophomore, but he ran into a wall, and Wyatt Patterson made a hit, a gain of 1, and that's a good sign. But remember last week, the problem with Fort Morgan, they couldn't get off the field on 3rd down.
Right. Yeah, they need to figure out a way to keep them, behind the 3 yards each time, make it 3rd and long, and then get a stop. Fort Morgan's rearranged their defensive line. They moved Cade Underwood in from defensive end into the interior, playing just off the nose.
2nd down and 9 to go for the 19. Bead Diggers on their first drive, no scores. 6:20 to go in the opening quarter. Rico's going to roll out to his right, throw on the run. It's caught underneath, and a first down across the 30, and carrying defenders to the 35, maybe the 36-yard line for a gain of 17. That might have been a tight end. Again, new personnel, and that is Thatcher Queen, a very good athlete. And a gain of 17 on the pass from Rico to Queen, and that's a good start for the Bead Digger passing game. At the 36-yard line. Again, the backs are split. Thomas and Krob, handoff, counter, left side. That's Thomas, and he backs to about the 39. And the initial penetration there from Ben Fritzler.
38.
And Dominic Vasquez made the hit, a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 to go. Gentlemen, this is going to be a quick-moving football game as opposed to what we saw. We did have the significant injury, but it took a while 1 week ago, and we're a lot closer to home.
Yeah.
Are we thinking about dinner already? I'm not there yet.
I had dinner before, so I'm good.
Yeah, but that's boring. It's better to eat later. But I credit you, Kevin. You're more responsible. 2nd down and 8 to go from the 38. Rolling out to his right is Rico. Wants to throw. He does on the run. Wide open! It's caught, a first down to the 35. That looked like it was a blown coverage. Percy Odell made the catch. And that's a gain of 26. And again, that was a concern last week.
Yeah, I don't know if that was Angel Lopez's man. He was the one that was out there and finally brought him down. But they lost him somewhere.
Lining up on the right hash mark. 1st and 10 for the Mustang 35. 4:53 to go in the opening quarter. Mustangs picked up a first down, then committed penalties. Backs are split, handoff right side. That is a big man across the 35 to the 32. That's Jelani Thomas. And a gain of about 3. Wyatt Patterson in on the hit.
Looks like Fort Morgan's committing to stopping the run, and that's leaving those receivers outside in one-to-one coverage. And choose your poison. How are you going to get beat?
Odell checked out after that big gainer on the pass. He's back in. 2nd down and 7. This drive started inside the 20-yard line, I believe, at the 18.
Yep.
And they're already at the Mustang 32. Rico, the junior quarterback, will hand it off on the right side, a gain of about 2. Behind his right tackle was Dylan Krob, a junior at 5'10", 180. Christian Velasquez made the hit. 3rd down and about 5 yards to go for the Bee Diggers at the 30-yard line with 3:47 to go. A lightning fast first quarter. On a gorgeous night, had the helicopter here from Larry Mills Field at Bee Digger Stadium. And we still have lots of people that have not yet come in. You don't get here for a Brush Fort Morgan game about 10 minutes before. This is 4-down territory from the 30, 3rd and 5, right hash mark. Rico rolls out to his right on the bootleg. He takes off, and he's not going to go anywhere. He is chased down along the Mustang sideline as the helmet goes flying from the man who made the hit. That's Ben Fritzler, and he read that right off the bat. No gain, 4th down and 5. Kevin, that's the type of defense you love.
Yeah, that's some hard-nosed, stick your head in their defense. And now if they can just play one more play, they've got to finish the deal because Brush is in that no man's land. Certainly aren't going to punt from the 30, and I don't think they have a field goal kicker.
Well, remember that Eric Rico kicked a game-winning field goal in overtime, but not from 47 yards. That's too long. He can make it from 30, 35, maybe even a 40-yarder, but 47's asking a lot. So the clock stops with a play going out of bounds. 4th down and 5, right hash mark again for the Bee Diggers of the Mustang 30. John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. Back split, receivers out to the left and right. Rico will roll to his left. He's going to throw underneath. It's caught. That's a 1st down. Tackled at the 25, right at the stick, but that's good enough. And the catch made by Thatcher Queen. They'll give him 6 to the 24. That is a well-designed play on a throw underneath. You don't need 10. All you needed was 5, and they got 6.
That's right. I like the way Brush is rolling out pretty much on all of their pass plays. That just gives him more time to let his receivers get open. And
well, he's not a tall quarterback, but he's 3 out of 3 for 49 yards at the 24, left hash mark. Rico will hand it off to the up man, and a yard for Cassius Middlemiss, the freshman. Penetration by Kenneth Underwood. And Ben Fritzler around the football as well. 2nd down and 9 to go for the Bee Diggers. We're under 2.5 minutes to go. This is as quick a first quarter as we've seen. And the Bee Diggers like quick games because they like to run the football. Just shy of the 23. Man on the inside slot. That's Odell. And there's the bootleg left, but Rico's going to go nowhere. He's going to go out of bounds. He's going to lose yardage. That'll be a sack. That's essentially, it scored like a sack, but man, chasing him over there was Dominic Vasquez, and a big-time loss back to the 32. I'm surprised he didn't try to throw that away, but he was running to his left against the grain, and the loss is 9.
Yeah, he'd get that back to the line of scrimmage, which is what, the 24, but it looks like it'd been a pretty easy toss just to get it out of there. But he saw Mustangs in his face, and he was just trying to preserve himself.
Yeah, he would have had to reverse his field and then just throw it away. Instead of a 3rd down and maybe 7 or 8, it's 3rd down and 17 for the 32. 4-down territory again with a back split passing situation. Rico rolls out to his right again. He gets a block. Here comes the pressure. Lobs it right sideline. It's going to be incomplete. Lots of contact near the goal line, but well defended over there by the Mustangs. The intended receiver appeared to be Thatcher Queen, but it was kind of like a, what do they call that, a dying duck or?
Well, I think the wind kind of carried it because the Fort Morgan defender, not the one covering the receiver, but the guy who had the best chance of the ball, kind of positioned himself and jumped, and then the ball was like 2 yards over his head.
And that was Jaden Carrera for Fort Morgan in on the coverage. He did an excellent job there that time. The Mustangs maintained their coverage. 1:55 to go in the opening quarter. Percy Odell checks back in with a play. 4th down and 17 to go for the Mustang 32. No score. The Mustangs picked up a 1st down. The Bee Diggers have 3 first downs on this drive, including that 26-yard pass.
This is a critical play because if Brush makes up this 4th and 17, that's just going to crush Fort Morgan's momentum.
At the 32, Rico rolls to his left. He's got a block. He sets, heaves it wide open along the left sideline. It's incomplete. He threw it behind the receiver at the 7-yard line. That would have been a 1st down. Thatcher Queen was out there, but Rico threw it back shoulder and just too much. But if that throw is there, that's a first down. Maybe not a touchdown, but it would have been a first down.
Yeah, and he threw it out of bounds, so the guy didn't have a chance to catch it. But that was a good drive by Brush. Just the one mistake by Rico not getting rid of the ball on that second down kind of stopped that drive. Good defensive stand there by the Mustangs.
Fort Morgan now with the football, right hash mark at their own 32-yard line. They needed that because last week, Pueblo East scored on their first 5 possessions, 4 in the opening half and the first of the second half. And even here, the Bead Diggers were within range. From the pistol formation, 2 receivers split to the left. Man in motion to the right is Urias. He's got the handoff, bounces it to the outside. A flag is down, and so is Urias out of bounds at the 34. That's going to be a hold. It looked like it appeared that Victor Villalobos was grabbing a Bead Digger somewhere around the waist.
And that's a drive killer. It's going to be hard to overcome that.
Well, we know that Fort Morgan's got a decent passing game, but you're right. Now you're starting, and that's behind the line of scrimmage. That could be a 1st and 22. This first quarter from Larry Mills Field at Bead Digger Stadium brought to you by Buildings by Design. First impressions are important. Buildings by Design will make your vision a reality. Visit buildingsbydesign.com.
Yeah, on that play, when it's a holding behind the line of scrimmage, it's from the line of scrimmage that they penalize.
Right, exactly. So yeah, it's 1st and 20. With 95 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Lopez Sarinana looking at his wristband. Receiver to the right along with Frankie Yu. From the pistol, Samson Ortega, the lone setback. There's 4 receivers in on this set. J.J. Marquez awaits the snap, has it, hands it off. Ortega running to his left, to the outside, and he's tripped up, but he keeps going near, did not go to the ground, across the 25, near the sideline to the 27. And that was mainly Samson Ortega snapping out of a tackle and picking up 5 yards in the play, but it could have been worse. That's his 3rd carry for 10 yards. 2nd down and 15, Caleb Jimenez made the hit for Brush as we're down to 1 minute to go in the opening quarter. Left hash mark this time. Fritzler in motion to the right, resets. It looked like Ortega took off early, no whistle. Throw underneath the bubble screen is caught by Angel Lopez. A cut to the inside of the 35. Lopez gets loose. He spins a first down across the 40 to the 45. A gorgeous play and a gain of 18 for Angel Lopez Sarinana on the pass from J.J. Marquez.
Wow, he really did a good job of reading his blocks and playing off of that and letting it, having some timing. He could have gotten stopped a long time ago.
At the 45, left hash mark again. Jitterbugging his way to the 49. Running left is Samson Ortega for a gain of close to 4. Looks like Conrad Castrop and Caleb Jimenez made the hit. That could be the final play of the opening quarter, down to 15 seconds to go. I don't think there's a reason to run another play unless they want to throw or try to throw the Bead Diggers off sides. We'll head to the second quarter. No score between the Mustangs and the Bead Diggers in Game 2 of the 2024 season on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustangs have the football to begin the second quarter. No score. I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. There's still well over 200 people waiting to get into this game.
Crazy.
I mean, this is insane. Second possession for the Mustangs. They just picked up a first down moments ago. It's 2nd down and 6 at their own 49-yard line, moving right to left from our vantage point on the left hash mark. Again, trying to establish the running game. Ortega had 4 carries for 14 yards in the opening quarter. From the pistol, tight formation, handoff, Ortega, jitterbugging, first down. He ran right over a Bead Digger at the 43 to the 42. That's a man's game for Samson Ortega, gain of 9. And Thatcher Queen took some punishment but made the hit.
Yeah, and Miguel Davila pancaked his defensive lineman.
There's the handoff to Ortega, back to his left. He skips over a defender along the left sideline to the 30. He's still on his feet, breaking tackles across the 20 to the 18, maybe the 17, a gain of 24. Samson Ortega picks up a first down, and just like that, Ortega has got 47 yards on 6 carries after a so-so first quarter, and now the Mustangs are getting the ground game going. They're in the red zone.
Yeah, they're breaking him outside a little bit instead of going right up the middle. He's seeing these holes that he needs to, and They're not being able to bring him down. He was wrapped up a couple of times and got out of it.
Underwood is now in the game for the Mustangs to give Samson Ortega a breather. He's too valuable of a weapon to run him too much. It was 82 degrees. Now it's down to 77, but it feels even cooler than that. At the 18, running back to the right. Marquez will keep it himself. He's going to be taken down for a loss. Just hold on to that football. He is smothered. His momentum carried him to the 25, but way too many beat diggers there. That's the first time they've run that play, that fake handoff. And count them, 2 or 3, including Percy Odell from the secondary and Thatcher Queen. A loss of 6 to the 24, and maybe they got too creative with the play calling on that one.
I think so. You got to just keep going with what's getting you there, and I don't know. It's bad timing. We got to score on this drive, I think.
Yeah. I know they didn't want to hand it off to Underwood for some reason. We'll see if they do this time.
2nd down and 16 from the Beat Digger 24. Shotgun formation. Marquez, quick drop, throws out to his right. It's caught underneath to about the 16. That's Frank Urias. Odell makes the tackle, but that's a gain of 9 to the 15-yard line. I like that play call. Make it nice and quick. First reception for Frankie Yu. Right up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 7 to go. Man in motion. Handoff on the counter. Running left is Urias. Bounces it to the outside, and he's down for a gain of 1. Just didn't have anything there. He tried to wiggle his way between defenders, and he didn't have anything.
Yeah, good job of defense there. They set the edge and forced them back in, and they had good pursuit.
Making the tackle were Kastrup and Levi Cox. Off that carry from Frank Urias. 4th down and 5 to go from the 19 left hash mark. They're going to go for it with 9:55 to go, 2nd quarter. No score. This is out of a shotgun formation. Ortega to the right of the quarterback. 2 receivers split each side. Marquez awaits the snap, long counter. They're going to call a timeout. They do. The 2nd quarter, by the way, is brought to you by Sydney Regional Medical Center. Don't let an injury keep you out of the game unless you're one of us 3 who are too old. Learn more about Sydney Regional Medical Center, SydneyRMC.com. Sydney Regional Medical Center now. We'll be back on B106 on Thursday night, 7 o'clock kickoff at Lutheran. And gentlemen, that's why this game is huge, because no disrespect to the Mustangs, but Brian, they'll be a huge underdog on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Lutheran down in Cooper, Texas tonight, winning ahead 19-14 in the 2nd period.
And if they lose that game, it doesn't matter. You're playing in Texas, okay, by the very fact. All those schools. I mean, a bad Texas school is a pretty decent Colorado school. The depth of talent over there is amazing. It's incredible. It really is. Stay connected with Eastern Plains Sports Network on all social media platforms. Follow Eastern Plains Sports Network on Facebook and Instagram, and Eastern Plains SN on X, formerly Twitter, for games we're covering. Pictures from ones we're at and links to our game archives now on Spotify. 4th down and 5 to go for the 14. Back to the pistol. 2 receivers to the right. There was movement, no whistle. Marquez rolls out that way, throws underneath. It's caught. Fritzer tries to make a move towards the 1st down marker. He's right there. I think he might have picked it up. No. Very close at the 9-yard line. They're going to have to measure, or is he just short?
They're marking him just about the 10.
Yeah, they're marking him short by a
Oh,
yard.
man, he very close, but he is going to be just short of a 1st down, a gain of 4 on that underneath pass, but Fritzler really didn't have much of a lane and somehow was able to squeeze a few more yards. So the Mustangs are going to turn it over on downs, falling 1 yard short.
Fritzler looked like he was open early. JJ waited a couple of seconds before he got it to him. That might have been the difference between getting that 1st down and not.
Marquez is 4 out of 5 for 37 yards, but just like the Beat Diggers were held on downs on an incomplete pass. This time a complete pass on a 4th and 5, but only went for 4 yards. The Beat Diggers at the left hash mark, 1st and 10 at their own 10, 9.5 to go, 2nd quarter, no score. This time the Beat Diggers have the back split. Rico turns, hands it off on the counter, running right, all types of room to the 15-yard line is Krob, and he's down at the 18-yard line. Big, strong tackle was made by Christian Velasquez Campos, a senior, a gain of 8. Excellent play and solid blocking there for the Beat Diggers, Kevin.
Yeah, it was a really good job. And they kind of got everybody sucked in and popped it outside.
2nd down and 2 to go for the 18-yard line. Now we probably have about 50 people waiting to get into this game, but that's crazy. From the 18, right hash mark. Handoff, right up the gut. 1st down to the 21. That's the fullback, Dylan Krob. He just lowered his head and basically almost brought himself down. He just wanted to get across that line.
That's a good name for a fullback.
Krob. You know, it's another game for a fullback, Bruno, but he's not here for the Bee Diggers.
Well, Krob's doing a good job filling in for Bruno.
There you go. 1st and 10 for the Bee Diggers at their own 21-yard line, right hash mark. Down to 8:20 to go in the 2nd quarter. Rico under center. There's the toss left, and the ball is on the ground, and I think the Mustangs have it. That was a perfect pitch from Rico, but it's recovered by Fort Morgan. I'm not sure who came up with that football. They give it back to the officials so quickly that you can't tell who recovered the football, but that was a perfect pitch. And see, when you have those skill position players that have not played before tonight at the varsity level, things like that are going to happen, which is why coaches don't like to call pitches or tosses. But that was not Eric Rico's fault. That looked like it was right in the hands of, I'm not sure if that was middle missed, but it was right there and just didn't look it in, was looking at his running lane, and Fort Morgan has it at the brush 22.
Yeah, they've got to take advantage of this field position.
With just over 8 minutes to go before halftime. Could be a pass here. Marquez looking to throw off the snap. Looks, heaves it, lobs it. Right sideline in the end zone, and it is incomplete. Oh, Lopez in the back of the end zone nearly came up with it. Not a bad throw by JJ, but it was well defended in the corner. 2nd down and 10 to go.
Travis Hunter would have caught that one.
Yeah.
And he had some great catches last night.
Oh, he did, especially that touchdown, that 3rd touchdown, which gave them an 11-point lead. I don't know how he caught that ball.
Yeah,
essentially off the defender's back.
Right.
2nd down and 10 to go for the Mustangs at the 22-yard line. I think you've got to run the ball here. You don't want to throw 3 passes in a row. Ortega's in that backfield. Man in motion, that's Ben Fritzler. Marquez awaits the snap. He'll hand it off right up the gut. And stumbling his way to the 15-yard line, skipping over a defender is Samson Ortega. Nice job, a gain of 7. 3rd down, Dylan Krob made the hit, 3rd and 3. Kevin.
He's running with a purpose tonight. You know, last week, I think part of it was last week he was getting hit a couple yards deep in his own backfield, and now he's got at least 5 yards to run and get some vision and see where he wants to make his cut.
Well, he had 4 carries for 14 yards in the opening half, 3 carries, or in the quarter, 4 carries, or 3 for 40 yards here in this quarter. 3rd down and 3, high snap, Ortega runs right side into a defender, 1st down, and into a blocker as well. Then he was spun down to the ground before Austin Lay made the hit, but he got to the 11. 1st down for the Mustangs, a gain of 4 as they're just at the 11-yard line, just inside the 11 of Brush with 6:55 to go and threatening to snap this scoreless game.
He's looking strong tonight. Like Kevin said, he's got room to run tonight.
Well, and they want to shorten the game too. They don't want to extend the game. They want to shorten this game, make this a quick game. And how do you do that? Run the football. 1st down and 10 for the 11 from the pistol. In motion to the right is Urias. Handoff, Ortega, stutter steps, skips over defender to the 5, Ortega to the 2. Right there, Samson Ortega just finding little seams in the defense. And short of a 1st down, a gain of about 9 for Samson Ortega. Let's see if they do the same thing. 2nd down and 1 for the 2. Handoff, Ortega. Oh, he's going to be stuffed in the backfield. You know what happens sometimes? You get a big gain like that and your offensive line relaxes a little bit, and then they come with more defenders. It's almost like they came on a run blitz.
Right, plus when you're on the 2-yard line, you've got to take the ball under center. You got to not give up that 4 yards.
Right, but they're not going to do that. That's not been the philosophy. A loss of 3, it's back to the 5, and now all of a sudden it's 3rd down and 4 for the 5. I mean, they're not going to do that. That's not Fort Morgan's game. I'm not disagreeing with you,
Right.
Kevin, but we've seen what they've been doing.
But you saw that CU game last night when they needed a half a yard and they snapped it back 5 yards and got
Yep.
stuffed just like that.
3rd down and 4 from the 5. From a shotgun, Urias moved, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty on Fort Morgan. Now it's going to be back at the 10.
They're just killing.
Yep.
Yep, they're just killing themselves right now.
Well, it's just one of those deals that you smell prosperity and then you don't know how to capitalize on it. And you step on your own foot, so to speak. Now it's 3rd down and 9 to go from the 10-yard line. Marquez, 3-step drop, heaves it over the middle, incomplete. Near the goal line behind the intended receiver. Looked like a tight end was the intended receiver on that play. And Broden Jess.
We'll see what they got for a kicker. Was it Christian Velasquez last year? No,
Or is that Davila?
Davila, yep.
Off the hold of Cooper Chisholm. That kick is up from 27 yards, and it is off to the left. Off to the left. It was missed by Miguel Davila, the senior. He had plenty of distance. Why are they running clock? Stop the clock. Are they not paying attention? That ran almost an extra 10 seconds. With 4:50 to go in the second quarter. Well, we've seen scoreboard issues now the first 2 games. So now after the missed field goal, it goes back to the 20-yard line. He had plenty of distance, but just hooked it left.
Yeah, it's really difficult on your momentum when you don't score after a turnover that deep in their territory.
Well, remember last year, Brush got off to a double-digit lead, then won in overtime in Fort Morgan. They won the last 2 meetings in the series, even though the Mustangs lead the season series. And why are they still running clock? What are they doing up
Should be
there?
4:50 at least.
Well, it should be 5 minutes. I mean, come on, guys. I know it's the first game of the year, but it's not that hard to run a clock. Especially in this game, where they're just running the ball for the most part.
Trying to get them to put it back to 4:50 after they ran it when they shouldn't have anyway.
There we go. It's not just college, it's Northeastern, the largest residential community college in Colorado, wants to help you in your educational journey. Visit njc.edu for more.
They started the clock again.
What are they doing? 1st and 10 from the 20. There's the pitch right, swinging it to the outside and spinning across the 20 to the 23 is Cassius Middlemiss, the freshman. And the play made by Austin Hall. He just spun him to the ground after a gain of close to 4. 2nd down and 6 to go. 2nd carry for Cassius Middlemiss.
Another way to shorten the game is run the clock when it's not supposed to be.
I hate that. I mean, you got to get somebody competent. 2nd down and 6 to go from the 24 right hash mark. The backs are split. And there's the handoff to the deep back, Thomas, and maybe a yard to the 25. The Mustangs taking names for what happened last week. And Ben Fritzler has had an outstanding game defensively. No gain. 3rd down and 6 to go. And their best plays are when they have rolled out Eric Rico, which they haven't done in the first 2 plays.
Yeah, they roll him out and give him time, but he's just handing off right now.
3rd down and 6 to go for the 24. The backs remain split. Rico rolls out to his right. He's got plenty of protection along the sideline. Heaves it wide open. It's going to be caught at the 48. That's Perciotto getting loose. Running to his left at the 30. Ben Fritzler in pursuit at the 20. Along the left sideline to the 10. Odell stops, dives, and he's out of bounds. He is just out of bounds. But a busted coverage again by the Mustangs. It nearly went the distance. Just shy of the end zone. Let's see where they place the football. At the 3-yard line, it's a gain of 73, and horrendous coverage by Fort Morgan.
Yeah, whoever it was came up to help with the run, or thought it was going to be a run, and let the receiver get behind him.
I mean, that coverage was atrocious. Wide open. 1st down and goal at the 3. Rico hands it off to Thomas, running to his left to the 2, and he barrels, and he's down. Noah Aguirre from the linebacker position brings him down at the 1. Well, you got to go Thomas here again. He's so big.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to mess around with going anywhere but right up the gut.
Thomas is coming out.
He's coming out of the game. It could be Dylan Krob. We'll see. Krob is in the backfield. He's one of the 2 in the backfield. Or will it be Rico himself? 2nd and goal. Handoff, Krob, right side. And he goes in standing. That was easy for the Beet Diggers. With just over 2.5 to go in the opening half. A 1-yard run there by Dylan Krob. And they lead 6-0.
Yeah, what a turn of momentum there when Mustangs had it down here.
Yep.
On a 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6 down here and couldn't do anything with it. And then Brush turns right around and goes down and gets a touchdown.
Well, they had it 2nd and 1 at the 2-yard line.
Yep.
That just,
Landon Mesh will hold for Eric Rico. What a pass by Rico. Low snap, and now he kicks it into the line. Mesh could not set the football. That's a blunder. So the Mustangs can score. They'll have a chance to take the lead. It was just a low snap, and Mesh couldn't get it set, and Rico did make contact with the football, but nothing he could do there. So 2:33 to go in the opening half. A 73-yard pass set up that touchdown 2 plays later. Length of the drive, Brian, there. It ended up being a long drive.
80 yards.
Yeah, after the missed field goal. You just have to wonder what is happening in the secondary. I mean, we've seen breakdowns 2 weeks in a row. Even on the 4th down play.
right.
It wasn't a breakdown, but the receiver got behind the defender, and if that throw was there, we might be looking at more than 6-0.
Right.
Rico to kick it off.
It's just tenuous right now as to whether Fort Morgan can continue to have the motivation to play hard. You know, after that big, the disappointment of not making the touchdown and then them having the big passing play. You know, if we get any more breaks, a turnover or a bad play, hopefully we just keep playing.
Eric Rico boots that football, and whistle blows. I think the Beet Diggers were offside. That might be a 5-yard penalty, making them kick the ball from the 35 instead. Because they won't call that on the receiving team.
Well, Fort Morgan needs to make sure that they use up the 2:33 on the clock and not give Brush a chance to go at halftime up 2 scores.
Right, well, they do have 2 timeouts remaining.
And Brush will get the ball start of the second half.
Gosh, I think Fritzler and Urias, they're too far back. Is Rico going to kick it that far? They're inside the 10-yard line. Frank's at the 5. I don't know, maybe it's me. I don't think he's going to kick it that far, especially with the kickoff now at the 35. Let's see what happens. Boots that football. No, I'm dead wrong. It'll be fielded at the 10, though. Fritzler running to his right to the 20. Swinging it to the outside to the 30. He's got running room. He skips over a defender, and he's spun out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Nice return of about 30 yards for Ben Fritzler. And he surveyed that field beautifully and found the seam along the Fort Morgan sideline.
Well, hopefully that's a spark and we can get a couple plays and get down there and get some points on the board before halftime.
Samson Ortega's had a huge quarter. After just 14 yards in the opening quarter. Keeps running like this, he'll go over 100. Why are they starting the clock again?
Jiminy Christmas.
Why are they starting the clock? This has happened already too many. They've got to get somebody up there who knows what they're doing. They've started the clock here on at least 2, if not more, than possessions before the ball is snapped.
Well, they got to give the home team the advantage here.
No, but they did it against Brush too.
Yeah, it should be a 2:24.
I mean, in what world does the clock start? Yeah, I mean,
they're 2 seconds
listen,
short.
I know I'm being a little bit harsh, but this has happened more than once. They've got to get somebody up there to help them. Back to throw is Marquez. Sets, throws a screen. It's knocked down. That was telegraphed a little bit too much. And Caleb Jimenez was able to get a hand on the football.
It's kind of like you mentioned earlier. I think he's looking too early to where he's going, and the defensive lineman charging in. If they see him looking short like that, they're going to stop and get their hands up.
2nd down and 10 to go. The Mustangs at their own 40, 6-0. The Bee Diggers lead on a 1-yard run by Dylan Krob. Set up by a 73-yard toss and run from Eric Rico to Percy Odell. Right hash mark at the 40. Shotgun this time. Ortega to the left of the quarterback. Deep drop for JJ. Sets up, steps up, heaves it right sideline. Well defended. It's caught! Holy mahungus! Ben Fritzer, and there's a flag down that should be defensive interference at the 23-yard line. A gain of 37. And Eric Rico's going to get up limping pretty significantly.
That's not good. You never like to see that.
Yeah, that's a starting quarterback, and now he goes down. Eric Rico is down at the 31. They don't need him injured. He's too valuable.
It's a cramp, but it doesn't look like it.
No, that's not a cramp because he was running or limping and hopping, and then he went down. Now let's see what the flag's about. They still have to address the penalty.
Well, they'll decline it and take the ball.
Yeah, that should be. Oh, now they're waving off the flag. Are they backtracking the football? To the 24. It's a gain of 36. That is an incredible catch, as Ben Fritzer was very well defended and somehow made a Travis Hunter type play, Kevin Rode.
Yeah, that was really nice the way he just timed it right and went up and pulled that in. You don't see that in high school for sure very often.
They need to get the ball into the hands of Fritzler more. We've seen that.
Brian, you made that point last week that they were not utilizing him enough, and he's too good of an athlete to deny him the football.
Yeah, and he on the kickoff, he brought it out to the 40. There he goes after it, gets the great catch. And we've seen him other times. We've seen him in the back position before. You would think if they want to give Samson Ortega a break, put Fritzler back there and let him do some damage.
Well, now Rico I think Rico, he'll stay in the game. Not now. That's one of those where you turn an ankle or something. He looks a lot better, but he's probably hoping that he gets a break here at the end of the second quarter into halftime and doesn't have to come back out of the field.
I don't know. He's pretty gimpy on that knee. It looks like his left knee.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Or his right knee.
They're going to run the clock, and that's correct. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Right hash mark. Marquez looks to throw. Pressure coming. Heaves it right side, and it's incomplete. Well over Lopez's head. He was wide open, 3 yards ahead of the defender, but it was thrown out of bounds. An awful throw there from JJ. Had he had some touch on that football.
He's got a cramp, I think.
Yep, he does have a cramp.
Or he pulled his hammy.
And that would be Lopez, not Marquez. Lopez Sadinana down on the ground. Marquez has thrown the ball 10 times in the opening half, and he's completed 5 for 73 yards, including that 36-yarder. Yeah, he's in definite pain out there.
They're not stretching him out like it's a cramp.
No. You're right, which they normally do. Count on Wiggins Electric for quick, efficient, and courteous service to keep you up and running. That's Wiggins Electric, providing you with a service and products you need at your most critical time. Wiggins Electric. Okay, let's see what happens now. He's in a sitting position. Is Angel Lopez Sadinana. And he's going to walk towards the sideline under his own power. So it's 2nd down and 10 for the Mustangs. They've had opportunities. Miguel Davila did miss a 27-yard field goal wide left on the previous possession. But now you've got 2 weapons there in the backfield. And Fritzler and Samson Ortega. Will they hand it off to Ortega on this 2nd down and 10? Nope, play action, looks to throw. Marquez will heave it, left side wide open, Fritzler dive, and he caught it. A diving reception falling at the 5-yard line. It would have been a touchdown had he maintained his balance. But it's a gain of 21, First and goal, Fort Morgan at the 5-yard line. A well-designed play, that wheel play out of the backfield.
And plenty of time on the clock. Let it run now. So Brush has no time to respond.
A minute 35 to go. Brush leads 6-0 in a 1-yard run earlier in this quarter from Dylan Krob. Left hash mark for the Mustangs. First and goal at the 5. A beautiful 21-yard delivery from Marquez to Ben Fritzler from the pistol. Turn, handoff, running right. Ortega slams into a defender down at about the 2-yard line. Cassius Middlemist absorbed the punishment from Samson Ortega. That's a senior against a freshman. It'll be second down and goal, and they're not going to be in any hurry to get up to the line of scrimmage.
They substituted in 2 fresh linemen.
They got to call a timeout. They've got to call a timeout here. If not, they're going to run. And yeah, I think Ty Davies got to call a timeout unless they snap this thing real quick.
Now they're down to 10.
Okay, here we go. And there is the timeout. Yeah, but
Brush.
wow. Okay. All right, well, we'll keep it right here with 38.7 seconds to go. Samson Ortega's carried the ball 11 times in the opening half. Yeah, he's on pace. 22 right now.
The only time they stuffed him for a loss was down here at the 2 when they committed to the run.
And that preceded that false start penalty by the Mustangs, and then they had to attempt a 27-yard field goal.
So this is where I think they need, I'm not the coach. I have no idea what's going on in there. But this is where you put Ben Fritzler in. That Big Mac, just like Brush did with Krob. Put that Big Mac in there and let him make some yardage. If the offensive line gives him a little bit, he'll be able to drive in there.
Or you have a lead blocker.
Yep.
You go back to like an I formation and you go under center. I know that's not their philosophy,
Right,
but I'm telling you, who in the NFL, when it's like half a yard,
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
every one of those shotgun quarterbacks are right under that center.
They're going to stick to their guns here. Second and goal from the 2-yard line. From the shotgun. Nobody in that backfield. Marquez going to take it himself. Run to his right. He tries to break out of a tackle. He dives. I think he got into the end zone. He did. J.J. Marquez was able to barrel his way over his right guard for a touchdown. And the Mustangs have tied the game at 6.
And now they're running the clock. I guess that's on Brush.
I mean, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Look at that. Oh, gosh. Again, I'm not going to specify anybody. It just, I mean, they know what's happening. They know what's happening. That cannot happen now. The extra point by Davila. The kick is up.
No good.
And it's off to the right. He missed it. Oh, holy Mahungus. You can't miss that kick. That was a good snap, but somehow that
was
ball
an important one there.
floated off to the right.
20.
Well, now it's 21.3 to go, but it should be closer to 28 seconds.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do, 28 or 27. 20.
Yeah, obviously, they've got some inexperience up there. Somebody, yeah.
27.
Now it's 27. All right, now they got it up there, but yeah, I mean, that's putting too much pressure. They got to have somebody working up there who's run a clock before.
Although Brush is lining up on the wrong side of the field now for the kickoff.
Yeah. Boys, you want down here?
A 1-yard run by J.J. Marquez. That was only his second carry of the game. Are the officials going to take control of this? Because they got to know what's happening too.
There we go.
My gosh, what a mess.
Well,
jeez.
We didn't go.
No, but
we didn't go 6 quarters without scoring, guys.
Almost.
Almost.
All right. To kick it off.
Please don't kick it deep and let some guy run it back.
Will be Davila.
That deep for your Beavers, number 12, Patrick Reed. And number 23.
Well, you had a bad snap on Brush's extra point and a bad kick on Fort Morgan's PAT. Tied at 6. Yeah, and Miguel's not going to kick that football as deep. So these Beet Digger returners should be closer to the 20-yard line, not the 12. Davila runs up to the football, and this is very short. It's going to be a fair catch, and the ball is loose, and it's pounced on by the Beet Diggers at the 27.
And the clock is running. Let her run.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. I mean, they're not even noticing that. I mean, this has gotten to the point. What's happening tonight in Brush is an embarrassment. This has happened 6 or 7 times. The clock is just running indiscriminately.
See how much time
You'd think someone in the stands right in front of us that
Well,
knows something about football would step up there and take over for them.
That's an embarrassment. I'm sorry.
It should be like 26 seconds, 25
Right,
seconds.
no, because
not that I want it back on there, but fairness for the field out here, it needs to be at 26 seconds, 25 seconds.
you can't do that. You can't do that already. See, now,
Because it was at 27.
I mean, I feel bad for whoever's running that clock, but they need to replace that person. You can't have that big of a mess. They're going to put it back at 24, I believe, because it's at 14.1, which gives you the indication how long. It's not just a minor violation. You took almost half the time off the clock. Now it's at 25.
It's just someone that doesn't know the rules of when to stop clocks and when to start them, and they'll learn.
1st and 10 at the 20. Yeah, you learn at a JV game, not in a varsity game. Hand off to Thomas across the 30 to the 33. A gain of 6. That should be it. And that should be the end of the opening half. Cade Underwood made the hit. Thomas has been contained, and that'll be it. We have played 24 minutes of football tonight. We'll go to our halftime break in our halftime segment with Ben Blecka coming up here in just a minute. A 1-yard run by Dylan Krob, and the Beet Diggers gave them a 6-0 lead. The Beet Diggers came back with a 2-yarder from J.J. Marquez. It is Fort Morgan 6, Brush 6 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. John Beltran back with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. The Mustangs with 193 yards of offense in the opening half. 99 on the ground, 94 through the air, very well balanced. And the Beet Diggers, 153, only 33 on the ground and 120 in the air. That's because of that 73-yard pass from Eric Rico to Percy Odell. The Mustangs will kick it off. They've got a new kicker in there. It's been tough for Miguel Davila. Had a short kickoff, missed a 27-yard field goal and an extra point. You don't need a guy to kick it deep. You just need somebody to kick it straight.
Yeah.
And if that would have happened, the Mustangs would have the lead, but let's see if we can identify that player.
Can't see the numbers.
And he's not a big guy.
Looks like 12. Is it Urban Melendez?
I think you're right. I see a 12 out there as well.
Yep. That's who it is.
They need to go to the soccer team and talk some kid into doing double duty.
Well, who was it, Gonzalez, that kicker they had who was really good? You remember I'm talking about?
Yeah, the guy with the
I have the wrong
shoes.
last name. I have the wrong last name, but I remember he was a great kicker for the Mustangs just several years ago.
Yep.
He's spelled with a G or a T. Yeah. Urban Melendez to kick it off.
Sophomore.
He looks like a left-footed. No, he's a right-footed kicker. Tied at 6, headed to the third quarter. Marquez with a 2-yard touchdown run, preceded by Dylan Krob's 1-yard run. End over end. This got some steam on it. To the 19, running to his right to the 25. Stutter stepping as Cox. Looks like Cox. Dive to the 27. And on special teams, Cade Underwood makes the hit. And this is where Brush will take over. Eric Rico was hurt at the end of the opening half. And they're running the clock again. Oh my God, this is crazy. I hope that's a malfunction with the clock. I really hope that there's something wrong with the physical clock.
It's running, and the refs haven't stopped it. Yeah. That's what he's saying too. What's going on?
Well, but now they're able to stop it.
Yeah, they're able to stop it. It's just the person doesn't know to stop the clock.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I'm going to show some sympathy. That's got to be if that's not a malfunction with a clock, it's,
It's not.
my God, you have to be kidding
It
me.
cannot be.
I mean, I hope it's a malfunction with a clock because, my gosh, I thought they would address it at halftime. 1st and 10 from the 28. Right hash mark. Rico hands off right side. Thomas with a big hole, and he's tackled from behind at the 36. A gain of 8. Noah Aguirre from his linebacker position brought down Jelani Thomas, his biggest carry of the game so far. He only had 14 yards at halftime on 5 carries. 2nd down and 2 from the 36-yard line. B-Diggers quickly up to the line of scrimmage, deadlocked at 6. The backs are split, handoff. Thomas behind his right tackle, and the Mustangs hold him up. However, he's so strong that he backed his way to the 39. Christian Velasquez made the hit for a gain of 3. 1st and 10 at the 39 for the B-Diggers off that 2nd carry for Jelani Thomas. Yeah, they're going to keep this on the ground, you would think, even though Eric Rico did a nice job of throwing the ball in the opening half. Turns, hands it off to Thomas, and he's going to be stuffed in the backfield. Ben Fritzler with some penetration, and he wasn't the only one. Noah Aguirre came through as well, throwing Thomas for a loss of 1 back to the 38-yard line. And again, it's a good offensive line for the B-Diggers, but that defensive line for Fort Morgan and the linebackers are stepping up, and we should say this, that this is the first game for that Brush offensive line, so they've got to season themselves a little bit there.
Yep.
They're not going to make every block. 2nd down and 11 to go from the 38. 10:27 to go, 3rd quarter. Opening possession of half number 2. Rico under center, hands it off to Thomas, right side. He's got a yard to the 39. Too much penetration again. Cade Underwood had the penetration. Then it was cleaned up by Wyatt Patterson. 3rd down and 10, and the Mustangs are playing some smash mouth football on that defensive side right now, head to head with these Brush B-Diggers.
Yeah, Wyatt Patterson's had a good night. He also had a good night last week also.
He did. He had an excellent game against Pueblo East.
I think he had 9 total tackles, 4 unassisted and 5 assisted, I believe.
Fritzler, Aguirre, and Patterson, probably the 3 best defensive players we've seen so far. 3rd down and 10, passing situation. Rico rolls out to his right, stops, pressure comes, heaves it deep over the middle. Jump ball, it's going to be
Intercepted.
Picked off, intercepted at the 31, a wrestling match. And it was picked off.
Cade Underwood,
Was that
I believe.
Underwood back there, or Carrera?
Was it Carrera?
What's the number?
14 was Carrera. 18 is Aiden Brown. I didn't really see which one it was.
I thought it was 18, but
That's what I thought too.
Nonetheless, that's a turnover by the B-Diggers, an interception. Yeah, these guys give up the football to the officials so much. It was a jump ball with a Mustang defender, and I'm not sure if that was Odell out there. Nonetheless, that's a big pick in this game. And now with a football at their own 32-yard line, 1st and 10. Shotgun formation. There was movement, and there was movement on the B-Digger defensive side.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Encroachment on the B-Diggers.
Well, what did surprise me is that not that they went to the air there, but they had all that success in the first half, that one long pass play, but underneath. They were throwing very well underneath. I figured they'd throw something for 5 or 6 yards and maybe to squeeze a first down, but to go up top like that.
yeah.
And yeah, that was a duck.
And that wind probably knocked it down a little bit. And, he's thrown off of a bad leg, so all that plays into it.
1st down and 5 for the Mustangs at their own 37-yard line. 9:38 to go, 3rd quarter. Marquez back to throw off the play action. Oh, no, he handed it off. Boy, he fooled me, but the B-Diggers were not fooled. Samson Ortega is thrown down. Looks like for a loss, trying to run off to the right side. In fact, a loss of 3 yards or 4 yards back to the, no, they give him the 34. Yeah, that's back to the, 34-yard line.
Loss of 3 on the play. Brings up second down and 8 for the Mustangs.
For Samson Ortega, second down. Oh, they'll call it 8. They're at their own 34-yard line. 2 receivers split out to the left. And there was movement. It looked like,
I think Fritzler took off a little early.
well, but it also looked like the center didn't snap it fast enough because on the left side they took off as well. Another penalty, and okay, the clock is stopped. That's good. 8:54 to go off the penalty in the third quarter. But again, you go from a 1st and 5 and you're going backwards if you're Fort Morgan. And even though this is the first game for the Bee Diggers, they know how to take advantage of mistakes like this. Second down and 13 to go at their own 29-yard line. The clock does run now, that as signaled by the official. Again, 2 receivers split out to the left, 1 to the right. This is a pistol formation for the Mustangs. Odias in motion to the right, resets. And there's a counter handoff. Running left is Fritzler across the 35 to the 40. This guy runs with a reckless abandon. And a gain of 11. Thatcher Queen made the hit right at the 40-yard line. And that's a big play because if not, he would have kept running and picked up a first down. But instead, it's a third down and about 2.5 yards to go.
Yeah, that was a good cross buck coming back against the penetration and the pursuit of Brush.
It'll be third down and a long 2. Just past the 40-yard line, and the Bee Diggers jumped.
First down.
Now 2 Bee Diggers jumped. They were not even looking at the football. They were listening to the count. That's 2 offsides penalties against Brush. Now, this is where the Bee Diggers don't have that advantage that Fort Morgan does. Fort Morgan played last week. I know they lost 35-0, but man, there's no education like experience. 1st and 10 at their own 46, middle of the field. Marquez awaits a snap, 2-step drop. Throws it out to his right, caught underneath to the 50. Fritzler is loose along the sideline of the 40. Fritzler a cut to the 35. Ben Fritzler with moves all day, a gain of 19 to the 35-yard line. A Brush along the far sideline. Another first down for the Mustangs.
I like that strategy of throwing underneath and letting your athletes, make a few moves and get 10 yards out of the play.
Yep.
Ben Fritzler has 4 receptions for 80 yards. How about that?
I like it. They just got to use him more.
Well, Brian Nichols, the advocate for getting he's only got 2 carries. So he's touched the ball 6 times, and 5 of the times he's touched the ball, they've been positive results.
Yep.
At the 35, shotgun formation. Odias in motion to the right. He's got the handoff on that counter. He runs to the 30-yard line. He carries a defender across the 30 towards the sideline down at the 27.
Yeah, they must have worked with those running backs on running with a purpose because everyone who's got the ball, when they're about ready to get tackled, they lower that head and they just run over a few people. That's some awesome improvement over last week.
It looked like a Brush lineman had to come all the way across to make the play. Frank Odias not with lots of carries in this game, only his second for 9 yards, second down and 2 at the 27-yard line. And now checking out of the game is Eric Rico. He's looks a little bit winded, wants to regain some of his energy here when he gets back on offense. Second down and 2. Marquez with a 5-step drop, pumps, looks, rolls out to his right, pressure coming. Now he rolls back out to his left, reverses his field. He gets a block. Marquez is getting loose to the 30, along the sideline, 25, and now he's knocked out of bounds. A first down for J.J. Marquez. Is there a flag down? I don't see one.
No, the 25 for Fort Morgan and whoever the kid with the officials there, 77. Somehow their helmets got entangled and were on the ground, and the refs had to separate that.
Okay, gain of 11. Knocked down to the 16 for Marquez. His previous carry was a touchdown, but that time, I mean, you really have to credit the Brush secondary with doing an incredible job. Unfortunately for the Brush defensive line, they couldn't get any pressure on Marquez, and there was a key block that freed up Marquez for that 11-yard pickup.
But right as Marquez was starting his scramble to the right, someone opened up in the middle of the end zone. If he would have saw him and just tossed it up there, we would have had 7-6. So.
And there is a handoff on the right side to Fritzler, and he's tackled from behind at the 11, maybe the 10. Might have been Kastrup to make the play, a gain of close to 6. Cassius Middle missed in on the tackle as well, but again, Fritzler, that was Franny Gonzalez, by the way. Thanks to my wife. That's the kicker who played soccer. Remember
Okay.
Franny Gonzalez?
Granny, that's
Yep.
right.
So it wasn't Gonzalez. I just forgot his first name. First down and 10 goes to second down and 4 to go at the 10-yard line. The Mustangs and Beat Diggers with 5:42 to go. Third quarter are deadlocked at 6, but Fort Morgan is knocking on the door. Right hash mark from the pistol formation. Marquez hands it off to Ortega. He's going to be stuffed in the backfield, and the Beat Diggers have come up with some huge plays when they've needed them defensively, and that time there were at least 3 Beat Diggers, including Caleb Jimenez and Dylan Krob, to throw Ortega for a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, they must have did some stunting and maybe sent a linebacker. That was a good defensive play there.
Well,
Right time.
Ortega's got 2 carries in this quarter for a -6. So now we're getting back to the issues the Mustangs are having on the offensive line, but Ben Fritzer's done very well.
But it seems to be just when Sampson's doing it, like Brush has got that picked up when they're picking up a read or something.
3rd and 7 at the Beat Digger 13. Marquez with a play action, back to throw, rolls to his left, runs out of trouble. Marquez to the 10, to the middle to the 5. Marquez with a first down. He took off right down the middle, all the way to the 2. And it's a gain of 11 for J.J. Marquez. What a run. First and goal. Brush Beat Diggers in a big hole defensively now.
We talked about that last week, that we wanted to see Marquez run a little bit more, and last week he didn't really have much of a chance, and tonight he's doing a really good job.
Yep. Yeah, that offensive line kind of kept Brush at bay that time and made enough of a lane there, and he took it.
Well, let's see if they give it to Ortega, but they've got a block from the pistol. First and goal at the 2. Marquez is the game's only touchdown for the Mustangs. And there's a low snap handoff. Fritzer right side dives, scores. However, there's a flag down, a late flag, and that's going to go against Fort Morgan, so no touchdown. That's got to go against the Mustangs based on the positioning of the flag. It's a hold. And that'll draw the football back to the 12. Huge penalty. Checking back into the game for the Beat Diggers is Edgar Ortiz at 6 foot 240. They need some beef there in the middle to try to neutralize that Fort Morgan ground game.
But now that it's out on the 12, they're probably going to be passing.
Well, the clock is now working very well. They're doing a nice job. I'm going to give them credit now. They're doing an excellent job now in the booth. So they fixed whatever the issue was, whether it was mechanical or somebody just not really familiar with the game. First and goal from the 12. Is it a passing situation for Marquez and the Mustangs? They look over towards the sideline for play instructions from the pistol. 2 receivers split each side. JJ, 2-step drop, looks to his right. Pressure coming, flushed, throws underneath. The pass is caught, it looks like.
Yep.
And that looks like Ben Fritzler again. This guy is all over the field, wide open at the 4.
Good job on the offensive line picking up that blitz. Brush sent 8 guys in there on that rush, and they gave him enough time to get that away.
And it's a gain of 8. Austin Hall now checks out on second down and goal from the 4. I love the way JJ looked off one receiver and went to the other underneath. That's what he's got to do more often. But can the ground game give the Mustangs the lead with 3:20 to go in the third, tied at 6? Right hash mark again from the pistol. Ortega is right behind the quarterback, Marquez, and the wind is starting to howl up quite a bit. The snap is perfect. And the ball is loose on the ground.
Brush got it.
And the Beat Diggers recover at the 9. A mix-up between Marquez and Ortega. I believe Ortega thought Marquez was going to keep it, and neither one had the football. And the football is recovered by Eli Klein. A huge turnover, the second one committed by the Mustangs in the game. That's a game changer.
That evens them up on turnovers then, right? 2 each?
Is it 2 each now?
Yep.
I've got to think of the turnovers that were.
There's the interception, and I thought Brush fumbled it one time too.
Yeah, we'll have to look back at our turnover total.
Well, at least they're deep in their own end at the 10. They got a long field, and our defense has been coming on better the second half.
First and 10 for the Bee Diggers. Left hash mark at their own 10-yard line. The backs are split, and now we have a brush timeout. That could be valuable towards the end of this game, considering that we're tied at 6. Keep in mind, last year's game went to overtime, and the Bee Diggers won 20-17 on Eric Rico's field goal. That field goal, the video up on our Facebook page, actually on YouTube. Anybody can watch it on YouTube. Third quarter brought to you by Stubbs Gas and Oil. One-stop shopping does exist. Gas, food, and all your travel accessories off I-76 and exit 66A in Wiggins. Stubbs Gas and Oil. Again, the Mustangs are back at it 6 nights from tonight in Parker against the Lutheran Lions. We'll be with you at 6:30 for Eastern Colorado Insider kickoff at 7 o'clock.
Well, we may end up in overtime again.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, let me tell you, of all the turnovers that were committed, that's probably the biggest one.
Yeah, because we weren't able to take advantage of either of their turnovers.
Again, a missed extra point. Both teams have missed an extra point, but a missed field goal by the Mustangs as well from 27 yards away. First and 10 for the Bee Diggers, left hash mark at their own 10-yard line. The backs are split. This is Jelani Thomas, right side, tackled across the 10 to the 15. A strong run by Jelani Thomas. Man, that guy just took the football and ran real hard there before Yeteli Busonera and Noah Aguirre made the hit. Jelani Thomas has been a little bit of a workhorse, 11 carries, but has really not gotten on track. He's got 27 yards on 11 carries, so it's not always on the running back, by the way. Need a little bit more blocking from the 15-yard line. Rico will hand it off right up. No, it's going to be a reverse, and running to his left and being spun down for a loss. Back to the 11. Who got that ball? Is that Kropp? Well, the Mustang made the play. No, that was not Kropp. Looked like a tight end. Oh, no, that's Percy Odell. Percy Odell, and he was thrown for a loss back at the 13. Who made the play for the Mustangs here?
Sincere Coleman.
Along the left sideline.
Sophomore.
They say that was number 2, I believe is what they said. Yep, Sincere Coleman. Nice job.
Percy Odell's got speed, but there's no way that he was able to get a run to the outside there with a Mustang in pursuit. Third down and 7 from the 13. You know, if you're the Mustangs, you've got to roll out Eric Rico, and you got to play that defensively because Rico's been very good on the rollout. 1:35 to go in the third. Deadlocked at 6 on 3rd and 7. Rico is going to roll out to his right. Still rolling. Throws on the run. Incomplete. It was tipped away by Austin Hall. Intended for the tight end, Caleb Jimenez, at the 23-yard line. And now the Bee Diggers will have to punt, and Fort Morgan's going to have outstanding field position.
Yep. You're talking about turnovers. I can see that Brush fumbled in the first quarter.
And then had an interception.
And then they had an interception.
Yep.
Marquez threw a pick, and then there was the, I believe Marquez had a pick.
And then the fumble down here.
No, I don't see a pick on Marquez.
Marquez didn't throw one.
Okay. Yeah.
So we only have one?
Yeah.
One turnover, my bad. Standing near the goal line for the Bee Diggers. It's not going to be Rico punting, although he can do virtually everything. And it's a high snap, and the ball is loose in the end zone, and it's going to go out of the end zone. Let's see if that was Odell in the back of the end zone. It's a high snap. It's going to result in a safety, and this game will not go into overtime for sure. Now the Mustangs lead 8-6. Yeah, I believe the punter there, Percy Odell, but that was not a good snap.
No.
He was able to get a finger on it or a few fingers on it, but.
And he almost made a bigger mistake because he tried to pick it up and do something with it. When you get it at that point, you push it out of the back of the end zone and get the 2.
Sacrifice the 2 points, that's correct.
So I'm sure he'll be coached up on that this next week, as will the rest of the
Percy's
team.
very smart. I think he was just thinking that, man, where points are at a premium, I don't want to sacrifice the 2 points.
Yeah.
So if he could have picked it up and maybe just punted it, it might not have gone beyond the 10 or 15-yard line, but at least Fort Morgan would have had to do something. Instead, they get 2 free points off the errant snap.
Yeah, but not being able to see what's coming behind you, I think you coach him to kick
Yeah.
that out of the end zone.
Yeah. Well, now you got to make a play defensively. Let's just hope this game is not decided on that play. You don't want it decided on that. So it'll be a punt by Eric Rico. Rico's going to punt now. No, he's going to kick it off at the 20. Okay, that makes sense. He'll kick it off at the 20.
I think the way he's limping, I wouldn't be having him doing anything other than playing quarterback, because that's where he's going to save it for you.
Deep kick to the 40.
And that ball is picked up. And getting loose along the left sideline is Austin Hall at the 30-yard line. He might go all the way to the 10, now to the 5. He's pushed out of bounds. I think his right foot hit the pylon, but they're going to call him down at the 2 on that little kick down the right sideline. And Brian called it initially, then Austin Hall just got loose and nearly scored a return of close to 45 yards. And man, now the Mustangs are in business, first and goal at the 2 on what looked like an innocent short kickoff. And just like that, special teams has come up huge, but it's also been disadvantageous for the Mustangs because of the kicking game that has not been positive.
So you score here, do you kick it or do you go for 2? If you go for 2 and not make it, it's a one-score game.
Yeah, no, I think you kick the extra point.
But we got to get the touchdown first.
Yep, this is where they've been getting to, and then they've been having problems and backing up. So
Austin Hall along that left sideline nearly went the distance. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, they got 4 downs now. They got to get this thing in the end zone from 2 yards out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Here we go. First and goal at the 2. Nobody is behind J.J. Marquez. Will he keep it himself? He will. Stutter steps to his left, dives and scores. 2 yards away from J.J. Marquez. His second touchdown of the game. And the Mustangs lead 14-6. That's a late flag. That's got to be after the play. I don't think that was during the play.
No.
It'll be an unsportsmanlike on someone.
Well,
But
that's
they threw
against
it.
Fort Morgan. Then that's a problem. Unsportsmanlike against Fort Morgan. That's going to result in about a 34-yard extra point. That's a huge penalty, a stupid penalty, quite
Keeps it a
frankly, against the
one-game,
Mustangs.
One-score play.
That is not a good play. You've got to be more disciplined than that if you're Fort Morgan. I mean, that is just score. I mean, again, it's act like you've been there.
Yeah.
Well, this should be. They get. Is that going to be Melendez to attempt a long extra point? This would change the game. Yeah, it's going to be a 34-yarder off that unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, I think you got a better chance trying to throw it in there. Although he does have the wind behind him.
Yeah, he's got the wind behind him. No, I think this is a good call. Let's see. There's a snap. The kick is up. Line drive. Does it have enough?
Yes.
It does! Holy Mahungus, it's good!
Holy Mahungus is right, buddy.
Irvin Melendez with a 35-yard extra point. And the lead is 9 for Fort Morgan. It is now 15-6. That's a huge kick.
And you could kind of see some of the gas come out on the brush sideline there, kind of walking around with their heads down, and got to get them fired back up, Coach. Game's not over.
Yep.
Wow, what a big kick that was for Irvin Melendez. And we've got 1:08 to go in the third quarter, and now Brush has got to score twice. That's why that was so crucial.
Yep. As you said before, points are at a premium tonight. So.
Well, but
That's
they
not a
scored
fact.
those 2 touchdowns back-to-back drives, and now all of a sudden the Mustangs, in a matter of seconds, have scored 9 points.
Yep.
And they lead 15-6 with 1:08 to go. Now we're seeing the absence of Richie Bruno really hurting the Bee Diggers, because what a player he was a year ago. Over 1,000 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns, 93 tackles. He was so good, he changed the game by himself. Melendez with a line drive fluttering. It bounces. The ball is loose. It's still loose. Picked up at the 12. Stutter stepping to the 15 is Cox. He's got nowhere to go, and the Mustangs are there to make the play. Wyatt Patterson on special teams. But he wasn't the only one once again.
Clock's running again.
That's all right this time.
Yeah, they've got to stop that.
They're not watching.
Avery Duggar made the play, but that clock ran for an extra 7 or 8 seconds.
Let's see, there was a minute 8 on there when they kicked off.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Minute
And
4.
it didn't take that long. Remember that the clock doesn't start until the receiving team touches the ball.
And
they can't leave it at 47 seconds. So
they're putting it back to 55. What was the kickoff at?
A minute 8.
Minute 8. That 59
Oh, 59.
seconds. Okay.
1st and 10 for the Bee Diggers, and they're not a passing team. They had that one long pass, but they're going to have to figure out something. They're not going to be able to run the ball consistently to get back into this game. At their own 14 with a back split. Jelani Thomas handoff left side. He's down after a gain of a couple at the 16-yard line. He tried to stiff arm for an extra yard or two, but Noah Aguirre was able to make the tackle, and Wyatt Patterson all over the football field, a gain of 2.
Yeah,
For Jelani Thomas, 2nd down and 8. Kevin.
They're just running that off-tackle lead where one back leads up and he comes, and Fort Morgan's doing a good job of getting off the tackles and stopping them.
2nd down and 8 to go at the 16-yard line. Fort Morgan 15, Brush 6, 24 seconds to go in the 3rd. Rico that time with an inside handoff right up the gut, and a gain of about 2, maybe 3. To the 19, that was Dylan Krob, but only 2 yards for Krob on just his 5th carry. And that is the end of quarter number 3. A good one for the Mustangs. We were tied at 6 at halftime. After 3, it is Fort Morgan 15, Brush 6 on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's hit the 4th quarter. The Mustangs lead the Bee Diggers 15-6. 15-6. And the Bee Diggers have a 3rd down and 6 at their own 18-yard line. I mean, it's not full down territory, but they're in trouble right now.
You don't see a full T very often.
That's the formation they're in. Hand off to the deep back, and bowling his way is Jelani Thomas, short of a 1st down. He's across the 20 to the 22. Again, the Mustangs have had lots of penetration, whether it's Aguirre or Patterson or Fritz or Velasquez.
I don't think if I'm Brush, I'm in four down territory right now.
4th and 2.
Well, they picked up 4. 4th down and 2. They're going to go for it. This could be a game changer right here. They've got to get it. 4th and 2 at their own 22. 30 seconds into the 4th quarter. They go for it. There's the handoff left side. That's a ball is loose. It's fumbled, and it doesn't matter who recovers because it's going to be Fort Morgan football anyway. It was fumbled backwards on the handoff to Jelani Thomas, and he would have had a 1st down at the 25.
Yeah,
and then it was popped out of his hand, and it went backwards.
Great
and the
defensive
Mustangs have
stand
got the ball anyway. The Mustangs had the ball anyway. It didn't matter. Once the ball was ricocheted backwards, it was no longer a 1st down. So whoever recovered the ball, it was insignificant at that point. And now Fort Morgan has control of the game with 11:19 to go, leading 15-6 at the 21. And the Bee Diggers have turned it over for a 3rd time. This was the way that Fort Morgan could win tonight, was by forcing the turnovers.
Way to get in a 5-syllable word there, John. That was nice.
I don't know what I said.
Insignificant.
Yeah, that's true, and I can spell that, but I won't do it now. 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Marquez on the counter running right. That is Franco Diaz getting loose across the 15 to the 12. What a nifty run by the sophomore, Frankie Yu. It's a gain of maybe close to 10. Are they going to give him the 1st down, or is he just shy? Now they're stopping the clock, even though the official is that now it rolls.
1st down.
Yep, it's a gain of 10 for Frank at the 11. Well, no hurry now if you're the Mustangs.
No, they haven't been in much of a hurry all night.
Well, and the Bee Diggers are going to feel hopeless now that they really can't throw the football. Out of the pistol, first down and 10 for the 11. Frank in motion. And there's going to be a handoff. Right side, Ortega to the 5. Ortega spins down to the 3. Oh, man.
Oh, we got someone
Samson
down.
Ortega's down, yeah. Somebody took a hit or just went straight down for Fort Morgan down to the 3. It's a gain of 8. That's an offensive lineman, it looks like.
Yeah.
Took a shot. I don't even know if that was a contact injury, but this is not as severe as last week when.
He's moving both of his legs.
Yeah,
so.
when Jordan, I think, yeah, it just took a funny shot there, but it's a gain of 8. Samson Ortega has had a very rough second half. Only his 3rd carry for 8 yards. He had 2 for 0 with 10.5 to go in the game. Fort Morgan leads 15-6.
And he was way away from the play.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he was blocked someone or what he was doing out there, but
Fort Morgan's getting some quick hitters.
right.
There's none of this sitting in the backfield and, okay, where's my hole? I mean, they're going to it, and tonight the Mustangs' offensive line has made that hole.
The last time
Right.
the Mustangs won against Brush was in the 2021 season, the year both teams went to their respective state championship games. The last 2 have been won by the Bee Diggers, but it's 15-6 Fort Morgan. The ball's at the 3-yard line, a 2nd down and 2. There's a Mustang down at the 15-yard line. 4th quarter brought to you by Rudy's Tires. 9 locations across Northeast Colorado and Nebraska means there's always a location close by. Rudy's Tires brings you
Looks like
Eastern
20
Plains
something.
Sports Today every weekday on 1010 KSIR. Visit rudy'stires.com. No, that's an offensive lineman.
50-something, I couldn't tell what it was.
53 maybe.
That appears to be Miguel Davila.
Is that 57?
That's what I'm seeing. I believe that's Davila. 2nd down. Yeah, he's leaving the field with some help. Right hash mark for the Mustangs. J.J. Marquez has got 2 touchdowns tonight from the pistol. Ortega's in the backfield. Low snap, the ball's on the ground, and J.J. falls on it at the 9. Again, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep.
Because, quite frankly, they could have about 25, 26 points tonight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know that sounds like an odd number, 25 in football, but they've got 15 right now.
Yeah, they need to work on their red zone
Well,
offense.
Here's the call for me. Passing situation, 3rd down and 7 at the 8. Find Fritzler in the end zone. I'd go to Fritzler right now on 3rd and 7. JJ awaits a snap. Looks over towards the sideline from the pistol. JJ looks to throw. Slant is low, and it is caught.
Decision.
That is the tight end. That's not Fritzler, down at about the 3.
Tough
that's-
angle to get a field goal in, but
Broden Jess made the catch.
be up by 12.
Let's see, is that ball's at the 3. Pass of 5 yards to Broden Jess, a junior.
If you don't make it, they've got a
yeah.
93 yards,
Yeah,
97 yards to go. So
So it's 4th down and 2 at the 3. You're up 15-6, under 9 minutes to go in the game. Fort Morgan would have to collapse to lose this game.
Yep.
And now they should take a timeout. They're going to
Yep.
take a timeout. That's a smart call. Run that clock, which right now is to your benefit. We'll have a player of the game coming up. Since 2003, Western Engineering Consultants has been providing big firm product with small firm relationships. Visit westerneci.com for more. Again, Joe Rosenbrock, the head coach of the Bee Diggers, very confident about his football team going into this game. But you cannot replace the absence of a Richie Bruno in just one game.
and you can see with the quarterback, Rico Hurt, even though he's out there, he's not 100%. And
Yeah, and
at
he's
least
such a good athlete.
we're going to find out whether he can pass now because they have no choice other than passing
Right.
at this point.
Yeah.
He may not be able to plant on that foot. I don't know whether
Well-
he's left or I don't know, but if he's
You don't
have-
need to necessarily if you're throwing on the run.
True.
But it would help because if he's healthy, he could run. He's a very good runner.
Oh yeah.
But there's no way he's going to be able to do that with 100% efficiency. Kevin, I just used a 4-syllable word. Efficiency. Yeah. Okay.
Which, if you
I
would
don't
have used
know.
it as a adverb, it would have been efficiently.
That's right. 4th down and 2 to go for the 3. Left hash mark. Ortega behind Marquez. 4 yards behind center is Marquez. And we've got a flag down. I saw Mustang movement. False start. Now you got to find Fritzler in the end zone. On a 4th and 7, do not even think about attempting a field goal.
No.
That thing gets blocked, and you've got a brand new game if Brush goes the other way.
Right.
As the Beat Diggers throughout the years have been good on special teams. Unfortunately, tonight, special teams has killed Brush. A safety for 2 points on a bad snap to the punter Odell, and then that low snap on the extra point towards Landon Mesh, the holder that Rico couldn't do anything with.
So in my mind, on that last play, I was picturing Jalen Hurts under center. He's going to get the 2 yards.
Second timeout is called. Yeah,
If
absolutely.
we just have a different quarterback. If we're worried about the quarterback's health, get a different quarterback.
I don't think it matters who the quarterback is. The Mustangs, even when they were in the championship game 2 years ago, had a chance where they could just go up under center to stop the clock, to run the clock out there at the end of the game, and they still didn't do it.
Forget about the championship game. Brian and I had an extensive discussion in the semifinal game after Frank Ortega picked off a pass in the end zone. I've listened to it back a few times, not recently, and I said, you've got to go under center, and Brian said, I would think so, but they didn't do it to take the knee against Lutheran. Because now, again, you have protection around the quarterback Wheatley, but it could be a funny bounce, it could be something crazy. So,
Yeah.
But then again, they're not used to that. That center is not used to having hit the quarterback's hand under there.
Correct.
So that it could be a bad snap even when he's under center.
it's a different feel altogether. It's a different feel. I mean, listen, it's a product of our upbringing, too.
Yeah.
I mean, every quarterback won under center. Every quarterback. Here we go. 4th and 7 for the Mustangs at the 8-yard line. 15-6 with 8:49 to go in the game. Marquez has the football, back to throw, looks, flushed out to his right, still running towards the sideline, into the end zone, intercepted at the goal line, intercepted and down at the 1, picked off by Percy Odell. Well, that's not a bad play for Fort Morgan because you got to go 98, 99 yards if you're the Beat Diggers. Oh, hold on. Was he tackled in the end zone?
Yep.
Well, then that is a good play for the Beat Diggers. Odell tried to run it out, but was tackled in the end zone. Okay, so that's a touchback. That works out to Brush's benefit beautifully. But now Kevin is absolutely correct. They're going to have to pass the ball almost exclusively, down 2 scores. They've got all 3 timeouts. Well, I think they might have 2 timeouts. They called one early, but I thought that was in the, we'll see if that was in the 3rd quarter or in the 2nd. 1st and 10 from the 20. The backs are split, full house backfield, in fact. Rico on the handoff left side. That's Jelani Thomas, and he's got 3 yards. There are 4 Mustangs bringing him to the ground. Ashton Meeks was the man who made the first hit. And Velasquez also in on the tackle. 2nd down and 3 to go. Joe Rosenbrock right now is going to run his normal offense. I know he wants to win this game, but he's not going to abandon his offense, even if it costs him the game, because he wants his team to gain some confidence. 1 game does not make a season. 2nd down and 7 to go for the 23. 8 minutes to go in the game. The Mustangs lead by 9. Back to throw. Rico. Slot out to the right. Tip caught by Rob along the sideline of 1st down to the 30, to about the 33. Tipped it to himself. The pass was a little high. A little wheel route out of the backfield. It's a gain of 8. Nice play there by the Beat Diggers, and Eric Rico Hasn't thrown the ball for a while. And the first reception for Dylan Krob. Clock continues to run, and the Mustangs don't mind that whatsoever. Let it run all day.
Just don't let anyone get deep on you.
Correct.
Well, we know the Mustangs secondary's had issues in the first two games. For the 31, Eric Rico, back to throw, out to his left. The pass is caught underneath. That is Krob along the left sideline with a stiff arm. And then he's tackled across the 30 to the 33. And he stays in bounds, which keeps the clock running.
Sincere Coleman with the open field tackle.
And a gain of only 2. Krob ran a long way for only 2 yards because most of that running was lateral.
And he should have just finished the last half a yard out of bounds and saved the time.
Yep. 2nd down and 8 to go for the Bead Diggers at their own 33. Fort Morgan 15, Brush 6. It was tied at 6 at halftime. Under center, Rico, handoff, left side, a yard, and that is it. Off left tackle, Jelani Thomas, swallowed up by Ben Fritzler. Christian Velasquez has made some plays in this game. He got an assist on that tackle. 14th carry for Thomas, and again, just not a lot there for Jelani Thomas. He's got 34 yards in the game on those 14 carries, and the Bead Diggers taking way too much time in the huddle, down to 6:06 to go in the game.
For a team that's got to score twice.
And it's 3rd and 7 at their own 34. They will run 2 plays if they don't pick up a first down. Turned it over on the last drive.
Nope, they took too much time.
Yep.
So they stopped the clock, but they got to go 12 yards now.
Well, listen, what I respect about Coach Rosenbrock here is that he's willing to take a loss for his team to learn. Yes, they could be in a hurry-up offense, but that's not the type of team they will be this season. They don't want to be in this position all season. They could just go all whack out and just start throwing the ball all over the place. That's not their personality. He wants to make sure they continue to run their offense. 3rd and 12 from the 29, back split. This is going to be a bootleg right for Eric Rico. Mustangs are right there. Throws on the run. The pass is going to be caught. Coming back for the football. A beautiful play. Percy Otto, a diving reception at the 48. A gain of 19 and a first down. And that was a tremendous adjustment by the senior Percy Otto. His 3rd catch for 118 yards. That's the value of a senior. Odo's got terrific hands. He's also an outstanding shortstop in baseball. 1st and 10 at the 48. It was advantageous that he threw the ball short, allowing his receiver to come back to it. The backs are split. This will be another give. Left side to Thomas, and he's cut underneath at the 49 by Noah Aguirre. That is the move of a seasoned football player. Noah Aguirre made the play, and you love that. Kevin, you being a defensive guy, that was a fundamental tackle.
Yeah, that was great. He cut right in there and chopped him at the knees. Made a secure tackle.
4 minutes, 55 seconds left to go in the game. It's Fort Morgan 15, Brush 6. Odell checks back in. They need a big play here. You got to do something like either a reverse or a flea flicker, something different, if you want to have a chance to win this game. Let's see what Coach Rosenbrock calls on a 2nd down and 9 from their own 49.
Players are coming out from Brush, act like they don't know what the play is, don't they?
Yep, and they're going to have to call their last time out. But again, this is the difference between game number 1 for the Bead Diggers and game number 2 for the Mustangs.
Yeah.
I don't know who the Mustang player of the game is. I mean, J.J. Marquez has 2 touchdowns, but I tell you what, if I had to give it to somebody, in my opinion, Brian, Kevin, Ben Fritzler.
Yeah.
All right, he's made some plays defensively. He made an incredible catch. An incredible catch. And tonight, Ben Fritzler has 5 catches for 88 yards.
And he's done well on the ground too, hasn't he?
Well, he's only carried the ball twice, believe it or not, 3 times. But after a loss of 4, he did pick up 2 carries for 17 yards. So you can't argue with that.
A lot of tackles, a lot of pressures on the quarterback. Yeah, he's had a good game.
Well, let's not forget about Samson Ortega's 2nd quarter when he had 7 carries for 53 yards.
Yeah, he was a workhorse.
He did. He was in that quarter. 4:27 to go in the game. Fort Morgan 15, Brush 6. I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. And now a big play coming up. Every play's a big play now for Brush on a 2nd down and 9 from their own 49. Rico under center, back to throw. Pressure is coming backside. Rico takes off with the football to the 50, along the sideline, steps out of bounds at the 43. It's a gain of 8, short of a first down by a yard, but that is a smart play by the junior quarterback, stopping the clock with 4:19 to go.
Yeah, that's what they needed. He needed to get out of bounds to stop that clock.
Certainly isn't being affected by that ankle injury earlier.
He did show a lot of speed, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's playing well.
3rd down and 1 for the 43. Oh, I like Eric Rico. He was so big last year, too. That's why that Rico-Bruno combination, when you split that and now you don't have one of them, that hurts. Mustangs coming on a blitz. Rico rolling to his right, throwing off his back foot. Intercepted. This might be a pick 6 along the sideline to the 30, down to the 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown, 47 yards. That's Noah Aguirre, is it? Nope. The pick 6 by Ashton Meeks. Holy mahungus. And the Mustangs lead 21-6. Meeks was able to cut off the pattern and go all the way, but it was set up by a tremendous amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Not a 7-5, but a 2-5 for Ashton Meeks. Again, 47 yards unofficially on the interception return.
I thought that was Aguirre too, and I thought, man, that kid's got wheels for alignment.
Yeah. Well, I thought I saw a 7 and a 2 look similar.
Well, 7 is
He was chasing him.
yes.
Now the extra point, and it's stuffed. A nice block there. Looked like Percy Odell went right through the line and blocked that extra point. So it's 21-6. And how about this? Fort Morgan has scored 15 unanswered points here in the second half.
Yeah, it's been a total turnaround, but it's been their defense that's been doing it for them, getting involved, and then their offense is able to.
Yep.
Just past the top of the hour. This is Morgan County's B106 KPRB Brush Fort Morgan. Brian, sorry about that.
No, it's just, I mean, they're taking advantage of their situations now. Earlier on in the game, they were getting down. That one was, 2nd and 1 down there at the 2, and they ended up trying to kick a field goal and couldn't do it. So,
And I think, just like you said, you don't want the game to turn on that snap over the guy's head, but you really don't want the game to turn on a pick 6 that you throw. Although it was a great defensive play, it wasn't a mistake. But that's football. It's who makes the mistakes, who takes advantage of those mistakes, who forces those mistakes. I always used to say, the Brush players are going to say Rico threw an interception, and the Fort Morgan players are going to say, no, that guy made a great break on the play.
I'm on the latter. That was not a bad play by the quarterback. It was all types of pressure. Had to get rid of the football. Had to get rid of the football. 2nd interception, though, thrown by Eric Rico, but really, that's a tough play.
Still within 2 scores, though.
Still within 2 scores, but now they've got to score on this drive with 4:06 to go in the game. Again, J.J. Marquez with a couple of touchdowns. Then you had the safety, which made it an 8-6 game, breaking the 6-all tie. And a 47-yard interception returned by Ashton Meeks as Rico was rolling right, throwing off his back foot, and took it right down the left sideline for a score. And now Irvin Melendez to boot the football away along the sideline. This one might head out of bounds, and it's going to be fielded inbounds. Was that fielded inbounds? It shouldn't have been. Yeah, I think whoever fielded it for Brush, you got to field that and let it go out of bounds, no?
Yeah. Or step 1 foot out of bounds and pick it up, because then it's out of bounds.
Well, I think it was whoever had that for Brush. Yeah, that looked like, it looked like one of the younger players on special teams. He took it along the sideline and stepped out of bounds. That's a humongous error.
Yeah.
Unless that was, I don't know.
A flag.
Okay. Well, if it is a flag then and it went out of bounds, it's not an error, then the football should not.
It's going to be unsportsmanlike on the coaching staff for Morgan. And I don't know why he's over there even talking to him. Why would you even go talk to the officials when they'd already decided that the ball was going to be way back there?
I don't know. Remember, there was an unsportsmanlike conduct after a touchdown, and Irvin Melendez had to kick a 35-yard extra point,
and I don't know
would have changed the game.
I don't know if it's a coach, because it's a guy in gray or tan pants and a light shirt.
Well, this
Another one?
You're kidding me. Yeah, that one just flew out there.
So we're going to give him 30 yards.
I don't know. I don't know what's being said or what's being done over there.
Are they going to have a second one called?
Yep.
That is correct.
Ty Davies just trying to figure out what the penalties are, I think.
But is it worth it?
No.
Is it worth it being that reckless?
Yeah, I don't know what they're up to. I don't know who's even talking.
Listen, I don't care what the explanation is on the Fort Morgan side.
There's no
You're up by
explanation.
15 points. All right? Get away from the officials.
Yep.
Get away from the officials.
No excuse.
That is ridiculous. That ball should be at the 20, and now it's at midfield. I'm not going to be starting to assign blame, but it's obviously against the Mustangs. 30 yards in penalties without making a play, just unsportsmanlike conduct. It's almost like they're going to give Brush the chance here to get back into the game.
Yeah, that's.
But Percy Odell appears to be the new quarterback.
Yeah,
it looks like Odell's going to be the new quarterback on 1st and 10 from midfield. And he's going to keep another bootleg, running right. He's going to be thrown down for a loss. Way too much penetration. Man, the Mustangs have not missed too many assignments tonight. And do you know why? Because of Noah Aguirre on that play. And Ben Fritzer was the second man. Not a coincidence.
No.
Yep.
Those guys are around the football. Loss of 1 to the 49.
Now, Gary knows what it's like to beat Brush, but a lot of these kids have not had the opportunity to beat Brush in a varsity game, so they want it.
Yep.
I believe that was a 35-12 score and a very good game. Brush had 2 critical fumbles the last time the Mustangs beat the Bead Diggers, and that was in Fort Morgan. 2nd down and 11 to go for the 49. 3:15 to go in the game. Fort Morgan 21, Brush 6. Under center is Percy Odell. Coming on a run blitz. And there's a toss left. This looks like Middle Mist. He's got room to the 50. A stiff arm. Then he's spun down. Does he stay in bounds? Nope. He's thrown out of bounds. And a very, very solid, aggressive tackle there along the sideline by Sincere Coleman. And in fact, he got to the original line of scrimmage, a gain of 1. Remember how many times the Mustangs struggled to wrap up last week? But this is also, gentlemen, a clear indication that that game against Pueblo East really helped them.
Yep.
Because that team was so fast.
Do it again, defense!
3rd down and 10 from midfield. On the left hash mark. Passing situation. Nope, it's going to be a handoff right up the gut to Jelani Thomas. And he bowls to the 46-yard line. That's a nice tackle made by Victor Villalobos, the senior. A gain of 4 for Jelani Thomas. The big man now has
Looks like Rico's
16 carries in the game.
Looks like Rico's got a nice pack on his right calf, so maybe it was a calf injury rather than an ankle.
Yeah, he's done for the night.
16 carries for 39 yards for Jelani Thomas. That's an excellent job against the big man from the Bead Diggers by that Mustang defense. So go for it. And Fort Morgan will take a knee if they stop him here because Brush does not have any timeouts remaining. 4th down and 6 for the 46. Percy rolls out to his right. Here comes the pressure. Throws underneath, incomplete. The throw was short. Didn't matter who the intended receiver was because it got 3/4 of the way there. Might have been Levi Cox in the vicinity. Nonetheless, take a knee right now if you're Fort Morgan. Don't risk getting anybody hurt on even a running play. And you've won this game by 15 points. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am pleasantly surprised.
I am as well. I think the line played so much better than it did last week, and the running backs are running harder, although it's easier to run hard when you don't get hit until you get to the line of scrimmage or beyond.
Right.
And Marquez, I think, had a better game.
I know they're looking at their take a knee. They have no
Yeah.
timeouts left. 2:06 to go. Take a knee. I mean, you're going to hand it off. Somebody. I don't know. I wish they would just take a knee here. 1st and 10 from the 45. There's a handoff on the right side. A flag is down, and near a first down is Urias across the 50 to the 45. But that's going to be against Fort Morgan. That's going to come back and nullify the gain of 9, and it's a hold. The tackle was made by Odell, but all those stats are wiped out by the penalty. Now you're down to a minute 59. Now you can legitimately even more take a knee. You don't have to do it. Just take the knee.
Yeah, that's first down again. So
Exactly. That's why. Exactly. Yep. You're right, Brian. Nice second half for the Mustangs, and it wasn't perfect, but it was good enough to defeat the Brush Bee Diggers tonight. We'll have our post-game show coming up momentarily. Brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions, and now they're going to run the clock. More the reason guys. Okay.
yeah,
Well.
kneel on it.
Yeah,
You should
I don't
go
know. There's no reason to run a play. No reason. They're all looking at their wristbands, but I mean, you could. The other thing is you could lose the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no reason to run out the clock when they're going to give you the clock. 1st and 20 from their own 36. Marquez turns, hands it off to Samson Ortega, breaks out of a tackle along the left sideline of the 40. Now he's at the 50. He's got a first down, cuts it back to the middle, and then he's still loose, and Ortega's out of bounds. It's a nice run, but it's just padding stats at this point. Down inside the 30 to the 26. It's a gain of 38 yards for Samson Ortega. The only thing this does is put him over 100 yards in the game.
Yeah. Take a knee.
Got 110 now. I mean,
They
that's
are.
nice, but now they'll take the knee. But even still, you run that one extra play. So they'll take a knee. And this game will be over with in 1 minute and 12 seconds with the Mustangs holding a 21-6 lead.
Folks on your way out, if you get home by throwing your trash away in the
This
making it easier for maintenance
was not a capacity crowd. This was an overflowed
to clean up the
crowd.
Yeah, it's fun to see.
so they can start their liberty.
With about 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, everybody finally got into the game. At the end of the first quarter, there were still easily 200 people waiting to get into Larry Mills Field at Bee Digger Stadium. Yeah, it is fun to see, without a doubt.
But they're heading out now.
Well, and we're going to take our time. We're going to take our time with a break as the Fort Morgan Mustangs have put together a huge second half. And they pick up their first win of the season. Last week, certainly a disappointment on the road, but they snapped a 2-game losing streak to the Bee Diggers. And they win in Brush tonight. Fort Morgan 21, Brush 6. It's a break on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustang Post-Game Show is brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Water is the key to your crop success. Advanced Agri Solutions has year-round and seasonal probes that will help make sure you have the right amount of water. Call Dusty or Roxy McCormick, 970-571-2024. Fort Morgan Mustangs defeat the Brush Bee Diggers 21-6 in Brush. I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. The Bee Diggers took the early lead, and early lead meaning second quarter. Dylan Krob with a 1-yard run, but the Fort Morgan Mustangs answered on the next drive shortly before halftime. J.J. Marquez scored from 2 yards out. Both teams missed extra points. And then, quite frankly, and we'll recap here in just a second, Brian, Fort Morgan, after a huge special teams error on a high snap as Perciola was standing on the goal line, and the ball went off the top of his hands and through the back of the end zone. The Mustangs took control of the game.
Yeah, that was a turning point right there. Mustangs kind of put it into overdrive when that kind of happened, and they buckled down and started playing Mustang football, and they just took control of it, causing turnovers and actually taking advantage of their field position and getting some points. And then the defense did a great job against that offense. But once again, Eric Rico hurt. They weren't able to really use him to their potential that they would want. But they took advantage. I mean, when that's handed to you, you've got to take advantage of it. You can't just let it slide. So the Mustangs did a good job tonight in the second half.
There were a couple of missed assignments, Kevin, defensively in the secondary, but certainly not with the defensive linemen and linebackers. It looked like they were reading their keys there.
Yeah, the front seven played a really good game tonight. And defense in general, I had to hold Brush to 6 points. I think when I look back at the game, the first half was just fraught with mistakes on both sides. And we end up with a 6-6 tie. In the second half, Fort Morgan made a couple mistakes down there when they could have got in and scored. But Brush just kept making mistakes, and Fort Morgan started to capitalize on them and finally kind of gelled and played solid football. And that's the difference.
Well, look at the lead running backs here. Jelani Thomas for Brush, 16 carries for 39 yards unofficially. Samson Ortega, 15 carries for 110 yards. Even before that 38-yard gallop, he had 14 carries for about 72 yards, so that wasn't bad up to that point. It was 5 yards a carry, and he had that big second quarter. I guess what is surprising is that Rico threw for 151 yards in this game, JJ for 126. So Marquez did his job in the front, but Rico had such a big first half passing and had that 73-yarder to Perciotto by far Brush's biggest play of the game. But after that, they just didn't have too much, and thank goodness that the wind might be either picking up now or only seen to be picking up because the crowd is starting to clear out, and we don't have anybody blocking us at this point, at least now with a throng of people that showed up tonight. I would love to know what the attendance of this game was, but I'm guessing it was in the several hundreds, maybe not 1,000, but it had to be 700-800 people out here tonight.
Yeah, I would think so. And it was a great atmosphere. The Mustangs came out on top, and we'll see what Brush does in their week too when they come back and play next week. It may be a whole different thing for them, and I'm sure it will be.
Both teams are on the road. They'll be at University, 7 o'clock kickoff on Friday night on 1010 KSIR. We'll be in Lutheran, in Parker, I should say, against the number 1 team in 3A and the Lutheran Lions, the defending state runner-ups. But anyway, it was 8-6, and then J.J. Marquez scored from a yard out. Extra point was good from 35 yards out. That's the only disturbing thing in this game, by the way. There were 3 unsportsmanlike penalties against Fort Morgan called in the second half. 2 were consecutive. One was on special teams. The other was prior to a special teams play. And it's not something that I would want to address with Coach. If it happens more than once, then you start saying, hey, what's going on here? Because you just cannot give away yardage when you're a football team that's searching for your first win, which they did pick up tonight.
Yeah, I agree that the penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct is something that you have complete control over. Maybe some people would say the same thing with delay of game or whatever. Holding, you don't really have any control because the guy makes a move and your arm goes out and the ref calls it. Face mask, you're trying to tackle him and just go high. Unsportsmanlike conduct is completely controllable, and to get one, and there's no reason. I don't care what their excuses are or what they thought and how nicely they said it to the refs. After your first unsportsmanlike conduct,
get away.
You don't talk. You don't even ask for an explanation.
You don't even gesture.
Right.
Don't even gesture. But anyway, the Mustangs sealed the deal on a 47-yard interception returned by Ashton Meeks. And what a different feeling from 1 week ago when you travel 160 some odd miles, whatever it was, to Pueblo, and you're down 28-0 at halftime. The game takes forever. You lose 35-0. You don't get back home till 12:30 a.m. or even later for the Mustangs. Now we're just 10 miles away from Fort Morgan. The Bee Diggers are going to have a good season. They just have to figure out a way to make up for the absence of Richie Bruno, a 6-win team from a year ago. Jelani Thomas is a big guy, but clearly their offensive line has got to play a little bit better because Fort Morgan, Brian, they really stood up to the test tonight. That was smash-mouth football they played on both sides.
Yeah, it looked good tonight. They, granted, they weren't playing, excuse me, a team like Pueblo East, but they looked a lot better. They looked a lot better on their blocks. Their backs were getting downfield before they were getting hit. They could see their holes they wanted to get to. That's all starts from up front, and that's where it has to start. You got to have the blocking for the running. You have to have the blocking for pass protection, and they had both of that tonight. JJ rolled out. JJ was able to do what he wanted to. So, and the running backs, Samson Ortega had a good night. It just all starts up front.
And they scored 21 points, as Kevin mentioned, with a hash of mistakes.
Yeah.
An interception in the end zone, a missed extra point, a missed field goal, other opportunities that went by the wayside. They would get inside the 10-yard line. The ball would be loose. They would commit a penalty. Fort Morgan made a lot of mistakes tonight and still won by 15. So that tells you the potential of this team. And what's more exciting, I think Meeks is an underclassman as well, I believe. We'd have to check that. We'll check the roster. But Ben Fritzler, by the way, let's get to our player of the game.
Meeks is a senior.
Okay, he is a senior. Okay, thank you for...
But, I mean, we've got a lot of sophomores out there
without a doubt,
on this team that are making a big difference. They are.
Player of the game brought to you by Better Electric, covering all electric work from residential to commercial to agriculture. Better does matter. That's agricultural. 970-521-1030. Better Electric, proud to bring you our game archives available on our social media. Ben Fritzler, the player of the game, 5 catches for 88 yards, made some big plays. Also was outstanding defensively. He wasn't the only one, but he certainly stood out with some of the plays he made. And Brian was calling for Ben Fritzler last week to be given the ball more, and it happened tonight. And it paid off for the Mustangs as they moved to 1-1, and the Beat Diggers drop their regular season opener. Once again, we'll be back with you not on Friday, Thursday night, Eastern Colorado Insider at 6:30 and kickoff at 7 o'clock. Stay tuned, because coming up at the bottom of the hour at 9:30, it's the Colorado Prep Scoreboard Show with Kevin Schaefer. For Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde, I'm John Beltran. God bless and have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. The final score from Larry Mills Field at Beat Digger Stadium: Fort Morgan 21, Rush 6 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.